Welcome to our program. The sense of this program is mindfulness, and mindfulness is theoretically a practice of becoming very, very aware of your thoughts, noticing them, feeling them, experiencing them without running away or brushing them under the table for later. So, what we're going to do in this practice this whole month is really explore this idea of how are we feeling, what are we feeling, how are we doing, and trying to do this work in a way that is really judgment free. And that's the trickiest part. That's definitely the trickiest part. So let's start. The practice makes a lot more sense when you're doing it than when you're talking about it. Find a comfortable seat, cross-legged, or you can lie down on your back to begin today. So you choose. If you're sitting, sit up on a prop, so on a bolster or a blanket. And then come to a placement of your hands that feels really right for you in this moment. If you place your hands down on the floor or on your thighs, this is grounding. So if you feel a bit of a buzz, really high energy, place your palms down. If you're feeling quite lethargic and like you might fall asleep with 10 minutes of seated meditation, turn your palms to face up. You might bring your thumbs and your index fingers together in a mudra, a hand gesture. And this is energizing. This will create a little spark of energy if you're feeling quite tired. And now, once you've found your positioning, so you're sitting or you're lying down, please soften your gaze, maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. All things remaining the same. Can you let go of breath control and just start to notice your breath? Allow it to move in and out through your nose. Notice the sensation of your breath. Notice its temperature. Is your breath hot or cold? Is it sticky or smooth? Is your breath moving fast or really slow? Don't change it. Don't judge it. Just notice. Notice the experience of breathing, maybe for the first time today. Soften your lips, soften your eyes, and move your awareness inside your nostrils. Notice the sensation of your breath as it brushes against your nose hairs. Can you feel your nose hairs moving in the wind or the breeze that your breath creates? Does that movement tickle or tingle? If you can't feel your breath against your nose hairs, if you can't feel your nose hairs at all, resist judgment or craving and just continue to sit and observe what you do notice, what you do feel. Move your attention now to your upper lip. Can you feel the breeze of your breath wisping against your upper lip hairs, the skin of your upper lip, maybe even your lips themselves? Can you feel your breath here? What does it feel like? Describe it to yourself silently. Is this breath against your upper lip hot or cold? Does it have a texture? Does your breath feel fast or slow? Has it changed over time? Can you notice its rise and fall? Like a wave moving through your body. Does your body move in response to your breath? Does your chest move, your belly, your back, your ribs? How does it move? How does it feel when it moves? Resist the temptation to move it on behalf of your breath. Let go of control and allow the breath to just do what it does. Sustains you, supports you, moves you. Anchor all of your awareness to your breath. Now thoughts will come into your mind's eye. This is normal. Practice watching those thoughts the way you've just watched your breath without attaching meaning to them, without attaching to them. Imagine each thought is like a cloud, maybe a storm cloud, cruising through a bright blue sky. Watch it as it comes. Be mindful of how that thought makes your body feel. And watch it as it goes without judgment. This is the practice of mindfulness. You have 5 minutes in stillness and silence to explore. I'll let you know when those 5 minutes are up. Enjoy. One more minute here on your own. Notice if your mind has wandered far, far away. Anchor back to breath and thought awareness without attachment. Experience these final 3 cycles of breath like they are the most important part of your day. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep your eyes soft. Drift both hands to your heart center and bow your head into your hands. Set an intention for your practice. What have you come to this course, to this month of work to uncover, to pursue, to feel, to undo? Set an intention. Inhale, lift your head up, open your eyes. Take your hands, reach them back behind you. Place your fingers on the floor, bend into both knees, and just flop your knees from side to side. And now bring the soles of your feet together. And you'll note that I have my smart wool socks on. It gets very cold in a yin practice, so you can keep sweaters and socks on. Bring the soles of your feet together. If you're new to yin or you have really tight inner groin or hamstring muscles, take something, a pillow, a blanket rolled up under your thigh. And there's a comfortable distance between your heels and your pelvic floor. Place your hands onto your ankles and just start to weave your spine side to side. So as we move through these yin postures, if you ever get pins and needles, please take a little time out, give yourself a massage, move your limbs around until that sensation disappears. Likewise, with any cramping or electrical sensation, you'll just opt out of the pose until you can find a different experience. So add props or back off if you've maybe gone too far. Now start to wave your body a little closer to the floor. And knowing that in yin, we work with about 70% of our body's range of motion, can you find your first edge? In yin, this is a passive place. So if I were to actively pull my legs and drive my head towards my feet, I could go deeper, but that would not be yin. That would be very yang. And so instead, stop and soften into a place where you feel a stretch along the inner lines of your legs. So right along that inner pant seam, perhaps along either side of your spine, all the way up into your neck. There's no pain, but there's tension and compression. You might feel compression in the front of your hip joint. When you get to your first edge, that place of 70% of your body's range of motion, take a breath in and then exhale, fold again. Soften here, let your head surrender. By surrendering your head, there's a big shearing of the tissues in the back of your neck. If that's too much, stack your fists and rest your forehead on a fist. stack of your hands, or bring any other prop you might have underneath your head. This is called butterfly pose. Once you've comfortably settled into the pose, could you soften your lips? Soften your lips, soften your jaw. Relax your head and your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax either side of your spine. Soften your entire pelvic floor and bring all of your awareness to the inner line of your thighs, your inner thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, become mindful of the sensations that you feel along that inner seam of your legs. Inevitably, there's many sensations percolating along your body, along different energy lines and muscles of your body. But for the sake of this exercise, can you anchor all of your attention on what you're feeling in your inner thighs? Describe the sensations that you're feeling here to yourself. Do this silently. Describe the sensations that you're feeling here to yourself. Without attaching any positive or negative connotations to them. Just describe. It feels achy or tense, stretchy or loose, broken or breaking. And for 2 more minutes here, your work is to simply stay anchored, stay aware, stay mindful of those ever-changing sensations along this one particular spot in your body. When your mind gets distracted, and it will, those thought clouds or storm clouds will come on in and try to sweep you away to to-do lists or conversations, the past or the future. When that happens, take a full breath in, dump that breath out, and say to yourself silently again what the sensation is that you feel along your inner. I'll let you know when your time here is up. Please take 3 more breaths in and notice how these breaths feel as they're pulled in. What is their temperature, their texture, their speed, and as they are breathed out, how do those descriptors change or stay the same? Your emergence out of the pose is as slow as it was when we came in. So gently drift your body up. Take your hands back behind you and just rock your knees side to side. Please set any props out to the side. You might choose to leave your pillow or your blanket like a pillow here. That would be okay. And come to lie down on your back. So we're still driving awareness and mindfulness into that inner seam of your legs, but this time we'll do it through stirrup pose, happy baby pose. First, just take your hands onto your knees, bend your knees into your chest, and just create some movement here. Drift your weight left to right. Perhaps take your knees into great big circular shapes. If you do this, go in both directions. And notice the experience of your spine being massaged by the floor beneath it. Work your way back to neutral, to center. Hug your knees in closer towards your armpits and take your feet towards the sky. Option A, place your hands behind your thighs. Your head and your gaze can be straight up. Option B, a little intense through the inner groins, would be to take your hands to the outside edges of your feet for full happy baby pose. So option A, hands to the backs of your thighs, and option B, hands to the outside edges of your feet. In either variation, the work is to drip your tailbone down towards the floor. Soften the muscles along your inner groin, your adductors. Draw your chin in towards your chest and become mindful again of the muscular, maybe fascial experience you're feeling along the inner lines of your legs. Please take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften, notice, anchor your attention to the sensations. Describe them to yourself, perhaps juxtapose them with the sensations you felt from a more passive inner groin stretch that we just did. 1 minute here. Are there any other sensations moving through your body here? Notice what they feel like. Take 3 big sacred breaths in and out through your nose. Following that third exhale, gracefully place your feet back down onto the floor. Set your feet mat distance apart and allow your knees to simply crash into one another as you rest your hands on your stomach. Breathe here and return to your intention, the intention that you set at the start of this practice. Blink open your eyes, separate your knees, and shift your hips towards the left long edge of your mat. In fact, let's walk our whole body over towards the left long edge of our yoga mat. Straighten out your legs. And now with your hips grounded, simply walk both feet over towards the lower right corner of your yoga mat. Your feet can stay as they are. It might feel nice to take your left ankle over your right thigh or to take your right ankle over your left thigh. And this modification can change over time in the pose. Now, could you push into your elbows, lift up your shoulders and your head, and just start to walk your head and your shoulders over towards the upper right corner of your yoga mat, continuing to work both hips down towards the floor. You might lift your arms up overhead and bend at your elbows. You might take hold of opposite elbows. Or you could catch your left wrist with your right hand, tug that arm ever so slightly into a deeper stretch here for boomerang pose. Now the stretch in this pose is from the lateral edge of your left foot up that outside edge of your left leg, the opposite of where we just stretched in those previous two shapes, and then runs up your lateral hip along your serratus muscle, your side body muscle, right up into your armpits, and depending on your arm variation, perhaps up and over your entire arm. You might turn your gaze down, up, or in the opposite direction. And the final piece here is if you feel any pain in your lumbar spine, your lower back, simply tuck some sort of prop. You could use the edge of a bolster or blanket underneath your lower back. Soften your lips and your gaze. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, could you surrender the weight of your body to the floor? Surrender the weight of your body to the floor. And become mindful of your skin, the outermost layer of your body, your skin. Notice the texture of your clothing against your skin. Maybe your t-shirt, your undergarments, your pants, your socks. Notice the texture of your clothing against your skin. How does it feel? And now scan your body for any kind of piercings or jewelry. And notice how those items feel against your skin. Perhaps you don't even notice that they're there anymore. Just notice the sensation of your watch or your ring. Describe that sensation to yourself. Now, could you notice the sensation of your hair against your skin? The hair on your head, the hair on your arms, and just like the hair inside your nostrils. How does your hair feel against your skin? And finally, the air around you. Does it feel cool or warm against your skin? Dry, humid? How does the air around you feel against your skin? Take 3 long, deep breaths into that left side of your body. Let those breaths go with a ha or a sigh sound. Good. First, ungrip your hands, relax your arms. And now unlatch your feet, bend into your knees. Shift your hips back through center. Take 5 breaths here, and you might come right back into that resting pose with your knees falling in towards one another. But if there's another movement or shape you need to take, go ahead and take that shape. 5 breaths. Follow that fifth exhale with a shift of your whole body now towards the right long edge of your yoga. Land and ground through your hips before you walk both feet over to the lower left corner of your yoga mat. Perhaps crisscross one ankle over the other. Which ankle you cross doesn't matter to me. And now use the strength of your head and neck, maybe push into your elbows. Just shift your upper body towards the upper left corner of your yoga mat. You're building a boomerang or a C shape with your body. Your arms could be bent up overhead, and that's absolutely enough. For a deeper stretch under the arm, you might take hold of opposite elbows or catch your right wrist now with your left hand and really consciously pull and shear your body a slightly bit deeper. This time, rather than focusing on the sensation of your skin against your clothes or your jewelry, can you find an area in your body where you feel tension? So, tension is like a shearing sensation. I always think of that old Macintosh taffy when you're starting to pull it apart and it's really, really hard and never seems to actually separate from itself. That's what's happening in your fascia here along the right side of your body. So, could you find a place where you're feeling tension? Maybe right on the edge of your right hip, it could be under your right armpit. And move and anchor all of your attention to that sensation. Do not judge it as good or bad, as right or wrong, but just feel it. Like really, really feel it. Get to know it. You could describe it to yourself if that's helpful. Or maybe you just drive so much attention to that one sensation that nothing else can penetrate your brain right now. Nothing else can distract you. You are so focused on what you feel in that one particular spot. I'll let you know when your time here is up. Take 3 more long, deep breaths. Navigate your body back through neutral. This time, once you land in neutral, bend your knees, squish both knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around them if you can, and start that act of just rolling around any tenderness on your spine. Give yourself a nice little massage here. And go ahead, place your right foot down onto the floor. Take your left ankle and place your left ankle across your right thigh. Thread the needle now. This is an outer hip flexor stretch. Option A is that right foot stays directly on the floor, palms by your side or on your stomach. Option B, interlace your hands behind your right thigh and flirt with these little microscopic movements from side to side until you feel some sensation, it's tension, in your outer left hip. Option 3, you could interlace your hands in front of your right shin and do that same little jig until you find your sweet spot. So it's not too hot, there's no pain. It's not too cold, there's no nothing. It's not void of sensation, but it's just right. This beautiful blend of sensation, of tension, and compression. Find a comfortable placement for your head and your neck. Soften your gaze and take a deep breath in. This time, as you exhale and relax into your hip flexors, I'd like you to become mindful or aware, not of the physical sensation, but rather of any kind of emotional sensation that comes up here. So simply notice if your mind drifts into a specific thought pattern, a happy or sad, angry or glad, content or frustrated, resentful place. And without judging the direction this pose takes you in, just become aware and watch the emotional roller coaster, or maybe the emotional, quiet, and peaceful ride of this shape. 2 minutes here. Really good. Take 3 more breaths inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Slip your right foot back down onto the floor. Place that left leg beside it. It could feel quite nice to just drop down into the shortest Shavasana. 5 breaths. Notice distinctions between the right side and the left side of your body. As you're ready, bend back into those knees. This time it's your right ankle that slides against your left thigh, and your right foot could be extended or relaxed. Whatever feels best in your body is okay. Hands are either on the earth, behind your left thigh, or in front of your left shin. And there's a moment, always a moment at the beginning of the shape to discover and explore. So just shift your weight, drift your tailbone up and down. Find the place that works best for you, where there's no pain, there is sensation. And again, you'll just observe the emotional ride of this pose. Check yourself, make sure you don't accidentally hop on that roller coaster and go for the ride. Take a step back and become just a witness to your thoughts, an observer. This is the role of the yogi, to observe the thoughts without attaching meaning to them, without attaching to them. 2 minutes here. Really good. 3 more long, slow breaths. Unwrap those legs. Rock your knees now side to side. And take a moment, nice and slow. Roll yourself up. Find your bolster. And if you don't have a bolster, pillows will work. And if you don't have pillows, a rolled up blanket will do. Even a rolled up yoga mat would be fine. And place whatever you've collected for this prop vertical along the back of your yoga mat. Without sitting on the prop, bring the edge of your body towards the edge of that prop and descend down so your spine kisses the prop beneath you. Turn your palms to face up. If there's tension in your neck, you can always fold a little blanket, a bonus pillow underneath the nape of your neck. And option one is to take your feet mat distance apart and let your knees fall in together. Option two is to take the soles of your feet together as you did when we started in this Baddha Konasana or butterfly variation. And option three would be to simply extend your legs out completely, letting your feet flop the way that they like to flop. You have a few moments here before Shavasana to come back to our initial mindfulness exercise of breath awareness. All of the work we've explored in mindfulness tonight is about anchoring and labeling. So finding something to anchor our attention to, whether that is our breath, our thoughts, our sensations, our emotions, labeling it as such, and then allowing all of our awareness to be captured by just that, resisting the tendency or temptation of being distracted. Now, as you come here, could you take a deep breath in through your nose? Feel your belly and your chest lift like a robin proud in the springtime. Exhale with a sigh out through your mouth and allow every last inch of your body to melt over this prop without controlling your breath anymore. Observe it. Notice how fast or slow your breath moves in and out through your nose. Capture its texture, its temperature, its tempo. Could you notice the sensation of your breath as it breezes against your nose hairs, as it tickles the inside of your nostrils? What does that sensation feel like? Now zoom into your breath against your upper lip, your skin, the tiny little hair follicles that live there. Does your breath move your body? Is there a rise or a fall of your chest or your tummy that accompanies your inhales and exhales? Can you notice your heartbeat now? Perhaps your pulse, the life force inside of you, beating you and breathing. How does it feel to be in this body? There's the possibility that this place is where you want to spend Shavasana, and if that's the case, linger here. Otherwise, bend into your right knee, roll off your prop mountain onto the right side of your body, only long enough to move your props out of the way, and lie down into traditional Shavasana, corpse pose, palms facing up as the rest of the body flattens down to the earth. Take rest here. Please take a long, deep breath in through your nose. This time, exhale with a sigh. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend into your knees. Stretch both arms up overhead. Could you yawn? Take a big yawn. And as that yawn comes out, roll onto the right side of your body. Gradually, slowly, no rush, come all the way back up to sit. When you get to seated, take your hands to your heart center. Bow your head into your homework this week as you move through the mundane, everyday tasks of life, like getting dressed, putting the dishes in the dishwasher, walking down the stairs, greeting the people in your life, petting your dog, brushing your teeth. Your homework is to be hyper observant and hyper aware. Notice the way your toothpaste tastes. Notice the texture of a dirty dish on your skin. Notice the pressure of your feet as they stomp down your stairs. And see if anything changes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Namaste.